2019 was not expected to be a very easy year for any one of us. We were all supposed to go through transformation, which we have gone through, or we are going through, or some of us will go through. It was because the three major entities of in astrology, even if you're not interested in astrology, there's no harm in knowing, we're supposed to come together this year. And all these entities are responsible for yielding result for our karmas, our family's karma, and the collective or the world's karma. So depending on our chart, we may have gone through transformation. That is not I'm here for. I'm here to talk about the effect that sometimes full moon has on us, our emotions. We all know that we are just miniature form of earth. Just like earth has elements like fire in its core or its well, and earth on its crust, and water on its crust, flowing on its crust, and then air around us and the electromagnetic waves. Similarly, even we have fire in our bellies, as even the famous phrase goes. So if the fire in your belly is if this element is more prominent, you would find yourself more driven, more ambitious, more purpose driven than many people around you. If you're more balanced, grounded, earthy, then maybe your heart chakra is most activated. Your communication, your emotions should be flowy, just like water. So it's the water, it's the fluid in our body that would decide how and what we feel, our emotional bit. And as for people who often confuse between emotion and ambition or drive or passion, there is a slight difference. Emotion is a reaction, while passion is something that you're born with, a purpose that you know or you may not, but you might not be aware of your purpose, but it is there within you ever since your genesis. There is a purpose behind your coming into this world. Finally, just like air, our head chakra or the third eye chakra should give us the bird's eye view of things around us that are taking place. And just like the electromagnetic waves, we have this crown chakra that would connect us to the energy waves of outside. When I was talking about moon and earth, sorry, sun, they both exert a gravitational pull towards earth. Although moon is much smaller, so its pull would be lesser. However, sun is further away, even though it's much bigger. So the difference between the gravitational pull of sun on earth and the gravitational pull of moon on earth would be that sun is giving away its own light, which is most of it is absorbed, a bit of it is thrown back or reflected back. So it basically, the heat that is reflected back into the atmosphere after absorption of heat is done, that keeps the water flowy, that keeps the water flowing, that keeps the emotions in our bodies flowing. It doesn't let water stop. On the other hand, the gravitational pull that moon exerts on all liquid entities that are on earth, it makes that entity stop at one place. It doesn't help flowing. It doesn't help it to flow, to move, because it does not have that kind of heat. It is giving away the light that it itself absorbs from sun. So very little light, very dim light reaches us. However, whatever light reaches us, it is enough to wreak havoc if it has to. It makes water in our body be retained. it hampers the flow. And as you know, still waters gathers moss. So as the water is retained in our body, it gets toxic. Water carries charges, and these charges are interpreted as emotions. Emotions go berserk during full moon times, and so does our digestion, because digestion of toxic water with whatever little digestive fire that we have at that time, all in all, it creates infections and a lot of toxicity in our body. Most of us experience this toxicity in form of headaches or mild fever or strong fever. So as the full moon goes away, the pressure in the body subsides. It takes 2-3 days for it to subside. Even though women have a better mechanism to get rid of pressure due to their cyclical patterns, usually which aligns with the cycles of moon. So this pressure is eased off from time to time, and by the time their cycles, the cyclical pattern breaks in women, they're already, the fire in their bodies is far less. They've gotten rid of a lot of energy, so they don't experience pent up energies that are posing dangers to come out in form of violent emotions. However, the disturbing part of the full moon, at least this time that I noticed, was more with men, with the masculine energy, since it is not aligned with moon cycles. They experience a lot of pent up emotion. There is a lot of toxicity that increases in their bodies, which, if not channelized well, can get very violent. I have come across people in the last week. There are people staying nearby. They have suddenly gotten violent. People who have good anger management and they know how to channelize their emotions, especially that is exerting a lot of pressure, that are exerting a lot of stress on their emotional realm. They can get out of it. For those masculine energies that do not know how to channelize, they need to channelize, otherwise they end up getting more sick, more violent, become very reactive. One way of doing so is not to let that toxicity increase by consuming a lot of proteins, because that needs a lot of acid. Proteins need a lot of acid to break down, and as it is, there are a lot of toxic molecules in our body during full moon, and consumption of more proteins will make things worse. So maybe go on a vegetable diet, soup diet, or liquid diet, and reduce intake a lot of water during the days around full moon and full moon in itself, because there is a tendency of water to be retained in the body and getting toxic around that time. So that is all I have to say. Looking around me, I have noticed certain men getting extremely reactive, violent, and some of them have even faced certain psychological problems. Uh, not everything from our emotional realm can be eliminated. We do have to experience certain ups and downs, the crest and trough, no matter what. But if we can ease off the pressure, let us. Bye bye.